Hello, and we're live. So thank you everyone for joining today. We have a surprise from the Pacific coast of the United States. Thanks Ken for joining today. So today we will have a chance to talk not just with me. So people that already know me, you already talked with me, so that's okay. We have Jacopo Visetti, Jacopo Vanetti,
hi everyone,
and then we have Ken Hardesty, and we will be talking about a whole lot of things, and you will have the possibility of asking questions, and so that's very good point. Starting with what we received over the past couple of days. Starting again from where we left off on the 20th. On the 20th, we were supposed to have our usual community gathering, but it's we were out in. I was personally out in the Middle East, and so we decided to do this inside the office. So you have a sneak peek of our facility. So you can see the plants on the wall. We're green. And a matter of fact, like we're trying to welcome you in our homes, basically. So please feel free to get all of the questions that you already have that you've been sending throughout the week. Send them in the chat so that we will be able to see them. And I want to start this gathering by introducing everyone. So you already know their faces, but definitely it's a good moment to get to know each other a little bit better, the backgrounds, what we do, and what we're trying to achieve here at Efforce. So we will start with Jacopo Visetti. Jacopo is project lead. He's the founder of Ether CO2. So any questions that you've been having about Ether, the pipelines, the projects, everything that regards the history of how Efforce came about and how we got into energy efficiency, why energy efficiency, the previous clients, anything that you feel it's good to ask, please just jump in, and we have Jacopo to respond to all of the business questions and business related. Then we have Jacopo Vanetti, our CTO. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's been always in all his life into coding. So anything that you want to ask tech-wise, Jacopo is here. We will be able to do it also. We will also sometimes switch maybe between Italian and English. That's okay. So that's as far as like everything is okay. And Ken, for those that don't know Ken. Ken has been for 30 plus years, a very good friend of WOZX, and now for the past 15 plus years, they've been business partners, and we're very, very lucky to have Ken with us. It's 3 a.m. in San Francisco on the Pacific coast, so the commitment is very, very high, and we want to thank Ken for being there with us. Behind the scenes, there is also Sabi, so we'll show Sabi. Hi, Sari. So she's Ken's wife and a very, very important team member. So
I would say the first ever supporter of Efforce.
Exactly.
From the very first day. So
exactly.
From the beginning.
So that's very good to see everyone's face. So starting with the beginning. So I don't know if we already have questions rolling in. I'll just check on the YouTube channel. But I think we should be able to see them as well. So we're trying new features here. No questions yet. So we will start from Jacopo. Tell us a bit about your story and the vision, either why it came about, and energy efficiency.
Or we can show the office.
Or we can also show the office with people. There is some confidentiality matters here, so we will be just moving the camera around. How closely is the price linked to Ether? We will talk about price questions, but if you have questions about the actual business, please go ahead. And Jacopo will start by telling you a little bit of the story.
So basically, some of you already know why and how we started Efforce. This was really to, I would say, address one of the main issues in the energy efficiency space, which was potentially scalability in projects. by enabling to integrate, I would say, technology into a very old school type of business, which hadn't been innovated for many years. We try to bring, I would say, a bit of fresh air to a sector which is much needed, first of all, for decarbonization, but secondly, also for improving resource use around the world. The real aim of Efforce is to make energy efficiency accessible to basically everyone. Well, right now, this is, I would say, prerogative for kind of large to medium-sized enterprises. Very little on the residential side, and even less on the small businesses. The fact, if we go and take a look, for those who already don't know how Efforce works, to be able to fractionalize energy efficiency savings and make them basically like a tradable commodity enables to scale investments and participation into projects. And this, of course, brings therefore finance to projects which would normally not be tackled or accessible.
Yeah.
By doing so, and by scaling energy efficiency, of course, we make, first of all, energy efficiency less expensive, so less costly because more accessible, but also useful and tradable. So you basically have the possibility, the same way you would trade megawatts with renewable energy projects, you can trade energy savings and therefore offset bills in other parts of the world. Or if you have, for example, a couple of houses, if you're that lucky, then you can offset the bill with the savings on one house to the other one. This is just to give a brief.
That's a great overview. And just to iterate on something, he's very modest, so he's not going to tell you all of the background. So I'll try to put in some information about that. Jacopo was literally a visionary in this space of carbon and decarbonization and energy trading. This whole office that you see, it's part of a vision that started 11 years ago, and together with the other partners in Ether and literally they started as 4 guys in a kitchen, and today the business, how big is the business, I would say?
We're roughly, this year we're reaching 350 million as a turnover. So
350 million turnover in 11 years from 4 guys in a kitchen. So that's a good story. Never ever raise private equity capital. So it's a very good story, I would say, especially in Italy. So getting from there and the vision about decarbonization, the importance of decarbonization. Jacopo might have touched a little bit on this point, but we did discuss this previously. So it is very important for us to talk about the difference between energy efficiency investments and renewables, because we want everyone to understand why energy efficiency is so important in order to get to the decarbonization level. So how do we tie in decarbonization and energy efficiency, and why this is important to businesses today? Yeah.
Well, there's different points, as we've seen in the past year and a half, especially after, of course, the COVID crisis, if we could call it this way. There's been more and more people who started becoming more interested in sustainability. Companies have taken quite some fast steps towards carbon neutrality and towards corporate social responsibility. And the first things that we started seeing were, okay, how can we become carbon neutral the fastest way possible? So the first thing we saw was a big reliance on, for example, carbon offsets or corporate strategies to try to reduce carbon emissions wherever possible. But if we take a look at really where we can act to reduce environmental impact, well, the first step to take is actually to become more energy efficient. If we can tackle the use of energy at the source, so we use less energy to do exactly what we used to do, then of course it's, I would say, the first and foremost step to be taken in order to reduce consumption at the base. Therefore, our view has always been, and some articles which start to come out right now, also on Bloomberg, we shared one no later than yesterday, if I'm not wrong. Start to acknowledge this, the fact that energy efficiency is really the first step towards decarbonization. Even before you start using offset, and you want to offset with projects which are developed elsewhere, if you can start implementing efficiency projects in-house, so at the source, so basically instead of offsetting, go for insetting in that sense, so internal offsetting, energy efficiency is the first step to take. And not only that, but it also has an economical benefits directly linked to production, or in the case of a house, directly on your energy bills. So I would say that when we try to address climate change and reducing, consumption of fossil fuel sources, the first and foremost thing we should think about is really efficiency. In this case, energy efficiency. So I would say that the real base for decarbonization is really energy efficiency. That's where it all starts.
Yeah, and Jacopo, do you want to tell us about a little bit about your background? You can say it in Italian, in English, however you prefer.
Thank you. So no, first of all, I'm a developer.
Yeah.
So I started to write code like 20 years ago.
23 years ago.
Yeah. Started like a passion, not of course a job.
Uh-huh.
And after, so now is my everyday job, every day, all time.
And Jacopo also is very modest because he's a serial entrepreneur who sold businesses, and he keeps developing, and he's a machine. So anyone that has questions related to tech or anything that regards the tech development, the roadmap, in terms of what we want to do, we will tackle about the road. I've seen some questions already about the roadmap.
Yeah.
We will talk about the updates that we have, what we're going to publish in terms of new white paper, the things that are coming out. So we're just going to give you some ideas and some pointers, and then we will make sure that we follow up on that. Before we go to Ken, and I know that it's super late there, so I'm also sad that we have to take his time at 3 a.m. But thank you for doing that, Ken. We had one question, and for you already, Ken. It was why didn't Steve join? I think Steve, maybe at 3:15 a.m. maybe it's not a good time for him to join, but. We will talk about more Steve and his involvement, and how you see the day-to-day involvement in Efforce, what you think is why he joined the company, because you two joined the company together as business partners, and that's mainly the point that we can get across to the community, because lots of people have questions about WOZ, what he does, if he's really involved. Because they don't believe in just what WOZ.org says. So maybe hearing it from you is going to be a different story. In terms of one of the main critical points that we got, and we are acting on this, was about marketing and getting the word out and the rumors, because we tend to announce things and then we unfortunately get stuck because of industrial NDAs and because it's a matter of fact. And so we're streamlining the process now. So we're going from something that was a bit clunkier and more industrial. People they're not in a rush like in crypto, usually in the industrial setup. So bringing everything that we do on the industrial side and bringing it to the world of energy efficiency and blockchain is a bit complex, and we're working on it to streamline the process. So Jacopo can also tell you a little bit more about that. Everyone has been waiting for the car brand announcement. I just want to make sure that we also say that car brand is one of the projects that we're working right now on in the pipeline. So it's not our only project, it's one of them. Jacopo is going to tell you more about where the process is there, and he can give you more information about the car manufacturer. I don't think we can say the name yet, but maybe we can give you some more information. I'll let him do that. So yeah, if you want to talk about the processes where things you see get stuck, or that's very important for them to know. So
I would also take the chance to also address one of the questions that I see over there. And if I take the question right now, the question has been asked is, will Efforce benefit all ESCO, so energy service company, or just HSC2? Actually, it will benefit all of the energy service companies for a simple reason. One of the biggest issues in the energy efficiency market was the fact that you can actually only invest so much up until what you can get indebted to, or the money that you have to develop energy efficiency projects. And then since most of these projects have a timeline which can range between 12 to 18 months up to 7, 8 years before you finalize basically the return on your investment with the energy service company models. By being able to tokenize the energy savings, you're also able to exit potential positions for energy service company and then scale the number of projects that you can implement in any single year. Exactly. So basically, the technology here enables the ecosystem to scale. It's not just for Ether2. Actually, there's energy service companies which are
killing your own business.
Exactly. We're basically enabling exactly the whole market to actually scale faster. So energy service companies are I would say, the first to benefit of the product. The second ones are usual participants in energy efficiency projects, people who would like to participate in these projects, which up until now couldn't, or if they would have been stuck for a number of months. Now, basically, we give you the possibility to get in and get out of these participation, of these investments quite quickly. And therefore, this benefits both the ESCO, so the energy service companies, potential investors, and the companies themselves who actually implement these projects. So basically, if you allow me for this term, the velocity of the projects, the increase of velocity of the projects also enables the scalability of the same.
Yeah.
Without having this velocity in place, then everything was very, very slow in this field, and that's why we saw a big rise in renewable. You can basically trade megawatts and pass renewable projects from one hand to the other. You can do the same with carbon offsets. You can't do the same with energy savings, and that's exactly what we're trying to change. We want to make energy savings tradable, therefore they become exactly the commodity like the two others. We don't see why that should be any different for energy efficiency.
Amazing. Sorry, I'll just jump in on this one. Sorry to interrupt the train of thought, but I'm also cognizant and thinking about Ken. So I do want to call you into action, Ken. I would love to hear a little bit about your story and your side of the story with WOZ as well, and why you got involved in this project, why you think this project is got value. But most importantly, also tell us a little bit about your history, because we're incredibly lucky to have someone like you with your experience and like Silicon Valley Titans. I think working with a group of young Italians is something that it's very important. So for those that haven't met you already, I would love to hear a little bit more from your side. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit of a long story. Is the volume okay?
Yeah, that's good.
The volume's okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little long story, but like you said, where everybody that knows WOZ, I mean, I know we'll get into a lot of questions there, but from a standpoint, WOZ is an engineer and has been an engineer his whole life, and that's what even though he's the founder of Apple and he went through all that, but that's his thought process. And I basically thought I was going to be an engineer, and it came out as mechanical engineering and all that, and planned to be an engineer. So I was working at IBM in the early days as WOZ was founding, and starting Apple. So with Steve Jobs, so they worked together. I was working at IBM, and then it's kind of a story where Bill Gates moved out and he started his company. In a sense, it's kind of the same scenario.
Hi, Bill.
So anyway, I started to come in. They moved me across the street from their building, started a company, and I was basically building the next generation of technology of a IBM product for them. Being a young engineer like we were at that time, little did I know I had an advanced technology product that I was building for IBM. And then as it started to grow, they moved me across the street and helped me start the company and all that. That wasn't my thought to start companies, but my engineering career went away from that standpoint and start becoming a businessman. Mm-hmm. And the little company in San Jose, California, right next to IBM, grew to about 500 people, bringing in outside business and that type of thing that was coming to me. Wasn't looking for it, so it's kind of the accidental growth of a company at the time. And then that company built over the years. I ended up expanding into Hong Kong, going public in Hong Kong as we needed. IBM comes up and says, here's we need $100 million deal that we want you to build out. You got to get it much bigger. So he did all the things as Andrea is talking about, not doing, going public in Hong Kong, bringing in investors and as well as that. Started manufacturing in Hong Kong for 3 or 4 years, expanded, the company continued to grow, expanded into Singapore, moved to Singapore for another 2 years after living in Hong Kong for 3, expanded into the sales. Both of my customers were Europe and the US. In the US, it was IBM, Texas Instrument, Hewlett Packard, all that type of thing.
We do some name dropping. We're happy with name dropping.
Oh, sorry about that. And then the same thing with.
No, you can. No, feel free. Just tell the community, which companies work with you, which one were your customers, if you can. Those that you can.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even though it's a U.S. company, but like I said, went public in Hong Kong, and from that standpoint, but its main expansion was there into Southeast Asia, went into Penang and Singapore, put facilities in there. Again, it was the reasoning was because high volume. There was very high volume of products and low cost and shipping worldwide. My customers in Europe were Grundig, BASF, Siemens, Philips, Olivetti. Quite a source of companies, all in products. So
Yes.
It was a good time of growing and building the company. The same with Woz, where he was building Apple. And as I said, as Andre said a little earlier, we've been friends for many years. But we were both working. Our houses have been close to each other. We're very close friends now. Sabi, Woz, Janet, and I, from that standpoint of doing things together, business-wise and social. From that, but from a company standpoint, it grew over the 9-year period. I ended up having 7,000 employees, 18 factories in 6 different countries.
Can I pause you there for from starting the business to 7,000 employees and 18 factories? That's a lot. So that's
6 different countries. It got complicated in 6 different countries as well.
So this is very important, because that also shows that we can scale from 4 guys in the kitchen to 350 million company a year and beyond. So hopefully we have all of the skill sets and all of the history and the backings to actually go and scale the company towards
exactly.
that.
Exactly. So in a sense, what was, as everyone knows, is an engineer, a very quiet engineer, very happy what he didn't do. He doesn't really want to spend his time with lawyers and business guys. Not that he doesn't, but it's just he preference working with people, a team like we saw sitting right here, the Efforce team. And then the way this was all started, how do we meet Efforce, is sitting right here, Savi, my wife, and Ashley, business partner.
That's true.
So, through the connection, her talking with the team, seeing the value and understanding that, she put the pressure on me as well. So, as being from, and not that I didn't have interest in the team, but because of Steve Wozniak's name, whether it's Bill Gates, Steve Wozniak, or Elon Musk, or there's constant stream of people pushing them. Elon Musk, for example, is he's a media hound. He likes to get on and talk to everybody in the world, make comments like he has about Bitcoin, as everyone knows. The crypto world. Yeah. So, but Steve Wozniak is in a different world. He's not that kind. He's a shy, quiet engineering guy, and he likes technical people from his standpoint. He loves crypto. It's an interest to him. It has been for years. He's been involved in that. He likes technology in general, and he does not want to spend time in boardrooms or legal conversations. He wants to work with team and help meet a vision. As Andre said a little bit earlier, Vassetti there is the visionary. The other Jacopo is the technology guy. You've got Andre as a marketing and support of that. So we've seen an important core team of young, energetic guys that are ready to go. With Sabi pushing that.
And girls. We're diverse. We also have girls in the office. I think, Jacopo, what's the ratio? What's the ratio?
We're 50-50 actually.
50-50. Yeah. So that we're this is very important.
We're an equal opportunity employer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And as well, there's quite a team behind these guys as well that everyone doesn't see. I mean, there's a lot of respect that goes all the way down the chain of people in there that really support. So they're in an area, getting to the question of WOZX standpoint, the product where they're in, with the vision, what Visetti just talked about, Jacopo, and both Jacopos have talked about is like they're into crypto, they're into the energy savings. That's another thing. If anybody that's seen the presentations or talks by Steve Wozniak, he's very strong on energy savings from that standpoint, as well as crypto. So it fit into something of interest. And again, as I said, Savi said there tended to push that to make sure she's seen it from the vision of energy savings and crypto, and knowing Woz is like she does as well. She says, you guys got to get in here and talk. We have probably at least 10 offers a month that comes in for people trying to get him to do something with them. And it's just, it's just not enough time to cover and respond to everyone that there is. So he kind of shies away from all that because it just doesn't stop from coming in. So we did as we.
Because many people they actually asked, why us? So thank you for asking all of those questions, for responding to all of those points, because it's very, very important. And sometimes it's not easy to transpose to the community the fact that we have that Woz gets so many offers every single day that it's difficult to keep up with. And he doesn't do everything. Like he's very, very selective.
And he's a totally different guy as from Elon Musk, as I used an example before. Bill Gates is example for Quiet, for example. And Bill Gates and even Musk, we talked to him back. These guys all communicate now and then, whether it's Tencent or different companies. There's different conversations sometimes they have between each other, but he's not the marketing guy that wants to get out there and do that. He wants to see things grow in the world, and then he'll support it from that standpoint. Like I said, if we need to get out, if we're talking at events and there's large crypto events where the Efforce team is there and needed, then we'll be there from that standpoint. At the same time,
that's also very important. That's also very important because people do ask, about conferences, when do we participate? But also, one of the things that I wanted to stress for the community is the fact that we've been quiet because we wanted to build first. Like we wanted to make sure that we have all of the roots so that we can do marketing on something that has ground to stand. So we're taking, just to rewind and summarize some of the key points. We're taking 11 years of history. We're transforming that with a new stack of technology. We're bringing in the key player in the industry that built the technology industry over the past 30, 40 years. And we have very strong network, whether it's customers on the energy side or whether it's customers from the corporate side. Literally, we have access. We have lots of global access. We're a diverse company. We're building an ecosystem that wants to scale beyond ourselves. Right now, the company if you base the judgment on about what we've been doing, what we've been talking about it in the public on the public eye, we agree with you that we've been overly quiet, but it was very important for us to start getting all of the right pieces before we can do big marketing and not just be smoke and mirrors, right? We wanted to be concrete and we wanted to have a proper pipeline. So this is don't tell us the car brand. Okay, so someone is asking for the car brand. Can you say something about the car brand?
Yeah, we can start saying something about the car brand.
We can start.
So it's an Italian car brand. So there are not so many left actually, but those who are left are still quite interesting ones. The car brand. The reason for we're not releasing the name is really that we want to do the communication together with them. It's not ready to keep you guys waiting for no reason at all. But we think it's best. It's also a big step, I would say, for a corporate to start embracing a technology like Efforce based on blockchain. So going away from, I would say, the traditional way of doing business, also in the energy efficiency space for such a large corporate. And so the type of communication they want to do together with us really needs to be studied. So
someone is asking about timeline. Can you also say that timelines vary gigantically with these companies?
Yeah. So it's a luxury one. Yes.
Luxury cars. We already gave you
a lot of information. I would say a lot of information, and somebody's asking about the timeline linked to the release of the news. We're really aiming to do it as fast as possible. Truth is that, of course, we're trying to link to some of their production targets as well to release the information. This is something for them, especially for us, of course, but for them as well, something extremely new. It took us a long time not to convince them to do energy efficiency, but to work with a company which is involved with the crypto space, which of course is you have to understand this for some large entities. It's something they're extremely attracted to, but also very fearful because they don't really understand it completely.
Where the regulation is going to go, and so they're a bit scared.
Right. Yeah. But we got there. There's maybe another name in the chemical industry, and that I think we can potentially do the name. But
you want to do the name?
Yeah, we could do the name. I think Ken already knows it. We had a chat last week about the name. The company decided to go ahead with us.
Large chemical company. So this is also another. It's a very important company. So if you want to say it,
so we have finalized our discussion and are starting to work with a company which is called Dow Chemicals. It's an extremely large company in the chemical space. It's founded in the 1800s. So I would say a very large client is starting to
approach us as well.
Exactly. So we were approached by them, not vice versa, which is something very important. These guys, the facilities around the world exceed 240 production facilities all around the globe. We're starting to work with one of them and then scale up to 7 of them. The contract is quite interesting. We'll release more information about the data related to this contract. In a very short time. That means not as long as I would say. We'll
try to be faster on this one. Yes, absolutely. And one thing that is someone asked, and I want to what is keeping us from working with Tesla?
Okay.
That's right. Everyone is asking me, what is keeping us from working with Tesla? Elon called us up, we're available.
We're here. The truth is that you have to understand one of the aspects that I'd like to point out is important brands are very important for us, of course, but you have to consider this efficiency in this sense is name agnostic. Everybody needs efficiency, whether it's a small company or a big one. So the truth is that where we can make a difference is as much as in a small company, at a corner shop, or a Tesla. It doesn't matter. Big contracts are important for us. Small ones are as important for us as the big ones. We make no difference in that space.
Absolutely.
Energy sources and resources are limited, so we should try to tackle those energy resources wherever they are.
What someone is asking about exchanges. This is the tough question that we always get. So exchanges. Let's get that question because we want to separate one main point. Okay, so building a business with revenue streams, with clients, with a balance sheet that it's growing over time. This has been our main priority because as we said before, we want to focus on getting that value and driving it all the way down to the community so that we make sure that the ecosystem can thrive and the ecosystem can grow and can become self-sustainable. Okay, because one of the main points is Efforce started pretty centralized, and we are. It's true that we're more centralized because there is Ether, because there is the way the initial contribution was built. But we're going to go and evolve towards a more decentralized ecosystem over time because we want to abstract ourselves, and we want to make sure over time we want to abstract ourselves and make sure that the more ESCOs can get involved, more people can get involved. And also the governance of the whole ecosystem is going to be more decentralized. And this is something that we've been working with Jacopo as well, Vanetti. So we have 2 Jacopos. Like Apple had 2 Steves, we have 2 Jacopos. So we're lucky. We're lucky about that. So the thing is, we have this opportunity to build an ecosystem that is going to live beyond. So exchanges. Unfortunately, exchanges right now, they think pretty much in terms of hype, what's in hype, what is growing, and so if it's something we've been overly quiet, true. Our community has been overly quiet, but we've been.
You can say we signed some exchanges, but we decided to postpone.
Exactly.
So we have some.
We have signed some exchanges, and we decided to postpone the listing times a little bit more because
we can confirm that the
Yes.
contract is signed with a tier 1 exchange.
yeah, we
That's
have a
confirmed.
contract. We have a contract signed with a tier 1 exchange.
and
Uh,
some
and some smaller ones. We are moving towards listing at the right moment because and it's not something that it's going to take 5 years.
No.
It's something that we want to do in conjunction with the platform update, with the release of some of our largest clients, and also the new functionalities like staking, which is something that we're working on. And the new looks of the platform, because as we said, we started very centralized, and over time we want to decentralize, and we want to make sure that the ecosystem is going to. What is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of question about exchanges, and
Yes.
I do understand that question because if we take a look at the exchanges we listed on, some are good, some are potentially not as supportive as we would have expected. The truth is that to select the exchanges, it takes a lot of time. As you understand, we do understand your request for larger exchanges to be.
But also listing doesn't depend on
Exactly.
us.
Not only, I would say not only us, we can do up to a certain level of pressure to be listed on certain exchanges, but there's really some of the issues which are linked to listing are not depending on us. Some are, I wouldn't define them as issues. Some is also strategy about how we can actually decide the timeline on when we can list. But some of the other aspects we also have to understand is sometimes enlarging on so many exchanges or different ones might not be the right strategy at the right time. So we do understand that there's a lot of pressure and a lot of requests from your side to list on the largest ones. We are, as said, with one of them, the country's already signed. We are deciding when would be a good time to actually list. It is true that we listed on our timeline that Q1 would have been the time for listing.
But the market has been evolving as well. So we want to make sure that we don't kill the project as well, right? So and timing of everything is going to be very important. Because when we released and we went on the first exchange, it was a mega hype. Okay, mega hype. It's true. It is what happened. So lots of PR went out at the beginning, but honestly, the company wasn't ready to take it in. Okay, so we were a little bit too fast on that side, and we had to then take into account all of these variables. So now the hype has gone down, but we are preparing some very interesting things that are coming online.
So some people are asking if we're hiring. Yes, we are. So yes, we are.
Send all the CVs.
We send a CVC team. Yes, we are.
Yes.
If you think you're a smart guy, a smart
Or
girl.
Yes.
Exactly. Actually, we prefer girls, but because they're way smarter, way dedicated. All the ladies that work in this office are extremely dedicated and helped grow Efforce so much.
Yes.
Savi's one of them. She's right there. She didn't speak so much, but she knows she did a lot. And so thank you very much for this, Savi. If it weren't for you believing us in the first days, probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So that's.
Go ahead, Tom.
I usually don't speak a lot. I'm a silent supporter. I stay in the background. But we really believe, I believe, WOZ believes in this vision. It's a really good cause. So that's something that that's why we got involved. It's a good cause.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Savi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it
much.
so much.
One of the things that was asked in the previous questions, and I think this is a very important point to Jacopo Vanetti. What do we think about Ethereum? Are we going to move out of Ethereum?
Yeah. Okay, we started with Ethereum because the community in Ethereum is the most bigger in the world at the moment for the crypto. But of course, we are working on a new paper with a new protocol, and this protocol is not only for one chain. So it's something for the concepts. It's totally multi-chain because the mission is not only for one chain.
Exactly.
I can tell you only that at the moment.
This is a sneak peek, another sneak peek that it's coming. One
of the questions you might want to answer, because this is an important one, and I agree. I mean, why are the private investors selling even at this low price? Don't they trust Efforce? Well, I would make a differentiation between distribution and selling.
Exactly.
So, I want to address this question because I think there's a big difference. And the question is relevant. I agree with you. For example, thank you for your question. But I want to address this question. I think Andrea can address it.
I fully agree. So we said, so the schedule, the distribution and investing schedule of the Efforce tokens has been already published. So you all know that the private investor side is unlocking and investing 1.23 million tokens per day. So from the day of the first listing. So now it's been something around like 200 plus days. So there should be around 260 million tokens in circulation. Right now there is about half. So tokens are not being sold, but they're being distributed to the people that bought it very early on, because they were the first people that gave us the money to start the ecosystem, start building, and they bought the first risk, I would say, of the on the platform, on the token, and on the ecosystem. So so there is a big difference between selling and distribution, but it is true that now the token in circulation, of course, people now that it's in circulation, is not just in the hands of the early investors, it's in the hands of other people. So if people feel that there is not enough communication from our side, if there are things that are not clear from our pipeline or the projects, they get fearful, especially in the moment in which the market is turning. And so it's a special moment because the market is turning. So 1 second. Will there any way to test Efforce on testnet? Example, have a dummy tokens and able to play with the platform without risking our own coins? So when we're going to release the next update of the platform, which is, we don't want to say always soon. I know that you're tired of hearing soon, but we are actually very close to the release of the next updates. And if anyone is interested to become a beta tester, we will set up a proper account so that you can apply to be a beta tester. Yes.
The news will come after we release the first project with the car.
Yeah.
So we want to go outside with the same moment.
So we will go live with the news and with the news of the car manufacturing, which is, as we repeat, one of our clients, not the only client. Jacopo just name dropped Dow Chemical, which I would highly suggest everyone to go and Google it. It's a big company.
There's another one. We're not close at the moment the contract, but we have discussed a lot. Is another motorcycle company.
Motorcycle company. So that's another company that we're looking at. So any industry, as you can see, we're not fixed on one industry. Okay. So this is a very important point. We're not fixed on one industry, but we are very, very much looking forward to all the energy intensive companies that out there have facilities and need to, in some ways, tackle that overconsumption. So we're going from car manufacturing to chemical industry to motorcycles, university campuses. So we're doing different things. And so this morning we received also for coffee related things. So we're getting a lot of interesting inbound as well in terms of project. And of course our bandwidth is limited. So the problem in terms of bandwidth is just it is what it is. We have to take projects that we can actually chew. So we are going to go out with the new platform, as Jacopo was saying. We're going to go out with the new platform in conjunction with the release of the car manufacturer, luxury Italian car manufacturer.
Narrows down the choice, I guess.
The choices aren't very many now, but that's what it is. And how many employees do you have globally?
So we are roughly 18 people here at the office where we are right now. So some people behind us, some are not in the office at the moment. We have part of our team which is spread out around Europe, so they're working remotely. And then we have a number of engineers which work with us directly to actually start implementing the projects. All in all, we're looking at roughly a little bit around 40, 45 right now. We're growing the team day by day. We're new hires coming in.
Exactly. So if you're interested, send your CVs.
Yes, please, exactly. If you are, we're looking for people right now. So to join the team
at Efforce.
Team at efforce.io.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, please send your CVs. I don't think we have.
There was a question about the timeline that I saw from Isabella, if I'm correct. Yes. So Isabella, you asked the question of to organize, of course, relating to your timeline. So to our timeline and your timeline to organize yourself, of course that makes sense. So why do the timelines get spread out, and our roadmap potentially is not as precise as other projects? Is because you have to consider this, and then I'll get to answer your question. Here we have a part which is the product development, which is from a technical perspective, and the second one is the interface with industrial clients, which of course don't go at the same pace. Yes. So ideally, I agree with you, we didn't respect the timeline so much. But we would have respected the timeline perfectly if we would have done two separate ones. One with the external part, so how do the timeline we relate with clients, which could have been left a bit, I would say, opaque for a reason, because we don't control the clients on the other side, and the one on the technological development side. So if we would do two roadmaps in that sense, we could have been way more precise than we were with the original one. The fact that we are linking both things, so the development of the product and the client onboarding, of course, slows down some of the parts because one isn't directly under our control. So yes, I agree, and we take responsibility for not having, I would say, perfect respect for the timeline. But
we're getting in the process.
Again, we're getting in there, but also you have to understand one thing, especially in the energy space and energy efficiency space, which, contrary to, I would say, offset project developments or renewable energy projects, which are very mainstream, energy efficiency is still, I would say, although in my vision, the most effective way to tackle climate change is still I would say, the underdog in the sustainability space. So there's a lot of education that we try to do to companies who potentially do understand the concept of efficiency, but are not keen on how to implement it, and the time that is needed to get to the actual project. So this sometimes slows things down. To answer your question, Isabella, for sure Q3 you'll see a lot of news coming out, and project implementation as well as clients. By year end, you'll also see some new ways of some of the protocols we're working on, especially in the sustainability space. I can't say too much yet, but I guess this is something really interesting. You'll see very soon.
For us, it's a long run. This project.
Exactly.
It's not something.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
So that's the attitude.
It's not a company we want to sell. So it's something we want to create step by step.
Yeah.
Also consider this: every time you'll be able to log into the platform, the interface on the other side is going to be an actual production facility of a company. So we're not selling you or selling anyone for the reason of service, for that matter. Yeah. So you're not logging in and buying a flight somewhere, or you're actually tackling in, helping clients around the world or companies around the world tackle the issue of energy consumption, extreme energy consumption, and therefore reduce their impact. This takes time, but I don't want to be too general, but good things come to those who can wait, and energy efficiency is a slow process for the matter. I do understand crypto is very fast, energy efficiency is slow, but if we can manage to merge these two things, then this could really make a big difference.
Jacopo, I want to work with you.
Yeah, I'll be glad if you guys want to work with me. I need so much help. So I really need so much help, so please do send your CVs. We're waiting for your CVs, actually.
We need help. So
we really do.
Just one last word, which is important, and I think it's in terms of capabilities. Can we actually do it? I would personally say yes. Accessibility to customers. How many customers have you served over 11 years?
So we've served more than 2,000 clients. Not all have the same work requirement intensity. Some are faster to be implemented. This project, some are very slow. Some will last 12 months. Some will last 5 years. The truth is that I don't love one project more than the other. Both small projects or large projects are interesting. The truth is that if we can really bring people to not only you guys in the community, but also companies to understand the importance of scaling the time they dedicate to improve efficiency, it will not only be more profitable. Profitability doesn't only go through selling more of your product, whatever it is, be that for Dow Chemicals or any other car brand, or selling more cars. That's part of the profitability. But if you can decrease the cost of your production line, or the products that you actually put on the market, make them more sustainable, and you can still sell the same amount of product, but you still make more money. Yeah. So the thing that I'm trying to pass over here is the fact that efficiency is not only a matter of helping the environment, but it actually pays off to help the environment. Yeah. And there's very few applications right now where you can actually get paid to save the environment, and I think that's potentially, in my view, the only way to go. If there's no economic incentive, unfortunately, many people won't act towards reducing their impact, especially in the environment and or on energy consumption. And energy efficiency enables you to do just that.
Exactly. What Isabella also saying, just making sure it's this year, not 2025.
We'll try. Look, I know you guys have hard pressure, but just imagine how hard the pressure is on.
We're very under pressure.
Exactly. So we're working literally day and night to make this happen way before 2025. Absolutely, Isabella. We'll make sure this happens way before that. Trust me.
How do you implement energy savings?
Industrially.
Yes.
Just tell us a bit about how you do it. We know light bulbs.
We know light bulbs. Yeah.
So just to give you an idea. So how we do? There's more than one way to do this. When we approach a company, we normally find always two different very clear scenarios. The company already has some energy efficiency projects they can do on the production line, but they don't want to invest in it because they prefer to keep the money to a large production, increase production, instead of increasing efficiency. The second step is the one where they don't really have a clue what to do, so they try to understand how they can work with us to identify where their most energy intensive points inside the production facilities are. Light bulbs, you did an example here, one of the questions, light bulbs is the most common example.
I killed everyone with the light bulbs, I'm sorry for that, but I repeated over time.
There's so many, everything that can reduce the consumption of primary energy. I'm going to do you just an example for the people who are in Europe. EasyJet is one of the major low-cost airlines in Europe. Traveling over a while, connecting a lot of countries, especially in continental Europe. What did they do as an energy efficiency project? They didn't work with us. They did it independently and working directly with Airbus. But this is one of the examples of the most common one. Flights, unfortunately, right now, only very few can fly with a mix of sustainable jet fuel. The most common practice to reduce carbon emission, though, is to be more efficient on an airplane. Just to give an example. They decided to change older seats in the airplanes with seats that have an average weight of 35% less than common seats. They're very comfortable. Sorry to say that, EasyJet, but since we fly with you a lot, I thought I'd point it out. But by reducing the weight by 35%, they managed to save consumption of fuel over 1 million tons of fuel per year, which is an enormous amount.
1 million tons of fuel.
And that reduces, of course, emissions and improves efficiency. So this is just a common example of how efficiency, in this case energy efficiency, can actually reduce consumption and then therefore increase profitability. They use less fuel, they sell exactly the same number of tickets, but of course their marginality increases.
Mm-hmm.
Is the news about Dell publishing it yet? No, nobody's published it yet?
Yeah. Literally, this is the first time that we talk about it. And so you heard it here first, type of thing. And
just to finalize the answer, how we do implement the projects. We work close with the companies. We install meters which can read the savings which are generated, so we can monitor that. The projects are implemented directly, generally with the engineering teams of the companies. We do not operate independently. Some of the things that I'd like to say is that some companies do implement these projects independently and then want to bring it on the platform in order for the savings to be able to be traded, so tokenized in that sense. Why is that important for them? It's because they want to be able to be sure that they can, share part of their savings with the rest of the community. And so we not only onboard new projects, but we also onboard, we also onboard projects which are already potentially going and would like to use our technology to become, in that sense, more economically efficient.
Yeah.
So
and
we're
that's,
not close.
that's all in the next rollout. You're going to see all of those things. And Farhan,
there's a question for you here.
Yeah, which question?
Please tell us more about the new marketing team.
The new marketing team. So actually, we're thanking them for helping us stream this from afar. We had to be here in the office. We have Los Gatos on the other side, like actually San Jose, and then we have the guys down in another part of Italy. So the marketing team is working right now, and we're working mainly on the production of content. So we are going to produce more and more content for people to understand and increase the level of awareness of about Efforce, what it is. So the funnel, in essence, is going to be more about raising awareness and then getting the people that start knowing about Efforce and then actually acting on the ecosystem, some ways that they can participate in the ecosystem. So it all goes into conjunction with new release of the platform, new protocol, everything that we're doing right now, and it's all falling together. As we said, we need a lot of help, so just send more CVs. We're happy to review, and we're happy to review also different type of positions, whether it's from the technical side, the business side, the marketing side. We're happy to talk to everyone. Farhan is asking a question. Ken, I think you can take this one. Will Steve ever talk about Efforce again? So, what's your take on that?
You're asking me that?
Yes, we're asking you. Yeah.
So there's a question from
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, Steve doesn't do so much on social media. I mean, just because it's just overwhelming and he's unhappy with the directions it has been going and getting involved in everyone's life. Some people want it, some people don't. He's the one that thinks it's intrusive. So from that standpoint, but yes, no, he'll absolutely support Efforce at any time we want, whether it's events in Europe, in the US, or wherever, as a team effort. At the same time, we've got it, it's very big on the website, the WOZ website from that standpoint. So it's just, and we're very supportive of the team. What you see here, the three guys sitting there, is exactly what we look in an operating company like that. It's very diverse, very supportive of each other. There's more parties. The president's not there available, but you've got a full management team, and the capabilities are there, and it's in the market that he likes: energy, savings, and crypto. So
thank you. Farhan, don't worry. Steve will talk about Efforce, so don't worry about that. Yeah. So and he's already going around with the Efforce jacket. We have an Efforce jacket, which
Savi does too, by the way.
Savi has it. We all have it. We will post it. We will post it.
It's definitely a team effort. So anyone that doesn't see Steve involved, he's just not a daily talker type of guy. He's quiet. He's not related to. He's not related to Andre, who talks all the time. But he's more like
it's my fault.
Jacopos. So.
Yes.
But anyway, but very serious and very committed long term. We went in this for a long term. There's nobody in a rush to do anything here. It's to build a great company and do a good thing for the world, and that's his vision. Something that's giving back to the world, and he promotes that all the time.
Thank you, everyone.
So I have maybe a question. I have a question for the audience here.
We're 58 minutes in.
We're just gonna close it in. What actually happened to the T1 AIM, so the Tier 1 exchange AIM? Well, as I said before, we did sign a contract already. We put it on hold, not indefinitely on hold.
Yeah.
But the question is, given the current market conditions, right, and the project where it is at the moment, so we've updated you a lot. The question I have here, and we're happy to receive answers, is: would you think it's best to go in right now, just to list and do it, or probably wait for some more things technically being to be implemented, a market to recover just a little bit, and then launch it? Because that's a good question. On this sense, we thought, okay, let's put it on hold for a second. I know we're way beyond the Q1 for the Tier 1 exchange. The contract is there. The contract is signed. It's just a strategic matter, right? So we're caring about the token as much as you guys do. We haven't sold one single one of our
Exactly.
own.
Of our own. Yeah, exactly.
There's no one who's bigger believer in the project than us.
Exactly. And our team tokens, we repeat, are vesting over 20 years. So like that's a big commitment, I would say. So but on exchanges, we've updated you. Thank you. I'm sorry I interrupt you, but like it's been an hour.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that we do say a couple of things in closing remarks. Someone said we need more of this type of interviews. We will do more of this type of interviews with everyone, so you can get a feeling about the different sides of the business. We'll try to rotate also the time of the day so that Ken and Sabi don't have to get up at 3 a.m. So thank you again for that. It has been a pleasure for us to have you all here.
One last thing. There's one question you repeated, and which is right. Will the early investors, so the private investor, hold on until the crypto market bounces back? They better do, right? They better do, and I think they will.
We cannot control them, but
I think they definitely will for a single reason. Since they didn't even know when they invested, they didn't know we were going to be listing anything or do anything. Yeah. So they just believe in the vision. And so I guess in the end, they have a direct interest in not dumping all their tokens. These people invested quite a large amount of money. So I guess you can rest assured that they're not the ones who are going to dump right away.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. Absolutely. So and thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for being with us over an hour. Take this video, the link, share with all your friends. We have lots of information in here. It's packed. We will release some snippets of the live stream, so you're gonna have the different portions of the core information. Thanks again, Ken and Sabi, for being here with us. Thank you for our team on the marketing side from afar helping us. Thank you to all the people that work at Efforce and Ether every day, and they make this company what it is. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Follow us on all our channels, Twitter, Telegram, LinkedIn. We use LinkedIn.
And make sure you drop us an email. Right? If you don't get an answer in the group, maybe I'm not logged in at any given time, just drop us an email. I'll be happy to answer that.
Exactly. Thank you so much, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.